Hello, I am coming to you at the very persistent request of a subscriber named Ashley, so I hope that Ashley is watching this. She wanted to know how to get a consistent sound on the flute, and while I am not a professional flute player, I do professionally teach children how to play flute for a living. And something that is very, very important to know when you're first learning how to play the flute is that, of course, you are not blowing into the hole, right? You're blowing across the hole. The split in your airstream is what makes the sound. The placement is everything, so let's talk about where the head joint goes, where the hole goes in relationship to where the opening is on your lips. And this is why you kind of need a mirror, because everyone is different. But for me and for most of my students, you're going to put the very edge of your lip on the very edge of the hole so that you have the open hole like this. We're going to start making a sound by putting your hand over the open end of the head joint, putting your flute here, and blowing straight across. You want to make sure that the opening or aperture of your lips is as small as you can make it, and you want to make sure that you're blowing straight across and not moving anything, the angle of your head joint or your actual head. Another common mistake I see with very beginners is that you try to blow too much air into it. You think that because it's a flute, there's no resistance there, that you have to blow as much air as possible, and that is not true. What I tell my students is to pretend that they have a tiny paper airplane kind of between your lips and you're holding it, and you need to just send it flying. You will not, if you're doing that, if you need to send a paper airplane flying, then you're not really going to be like that. You're going to be doing a very small, fast airstream. Another idea you might think of is if you have a candle across the room 10 feet away and you need to blow to it, just blowing like this is not going to get the air moving enough to put that candle out. So there's a lot of different images that I like to use when teaching students how to play the flute. So going back to the sound on here. Once you are able to get that solid sound on your own for at least 4 seconds, your job is going to be to just put it down, wait a couple seconds, and then pick it back up and do it a second time. Once you're able to do that 5 times in a row and actually be able to place it without looking, then we're ready for the next step. The next step is just to take your hand off. And that's it. Repeat the process. Put it down, put it back up again. That wasn't very good. Put it down, put it back up again. Put it down, put it back up again. Make sure that you take some time in between the times that you actually put it down and pick it up again. Now, adding the instrument. If you're just learning how to make a sound on the flute, I'm going to assume that you probably don't know where your fingers go. But if you are familiar with where your fingers should go, then you should skip ahead to this time right there that I printed. So your left hand is going to go kind of at an angle. Your flute is going to rest on this part, this squishy part of your index finger, and your finger is going to go on not the first, but the second little button here. This flute is really helpful in that it actually has just plain circles where your fingers go, and it has lines where your fingers don't go. So you have 1, you skip 1, 2, and 3. Your pinky will rest here. You're not going to use it for at least a couple of weeks. Your thumb, for the most part, is going to stay here. But for certain notes, especially in the very beginning, you are going to actually need to take your thumb off. So make sure that your flute isn't resting on you being able to press that down, that you're not using that as leverage for holding down the flute, because you are going to need to be able to take it off and on. So that's your left hand. Right hand, this is a little bit easier. It's the last 3 buttons in a row. 1, 2, 3, and then your pinky. Notice that the rod lines up with the buttons. These are not lined up together because your pinky is shorter. Like that. Boop, boop. So you start with your thumb, and you can actually do what we call a waterfall. And you can start with your thumb and then add 1 finger at a time. going to go into some notes, just ones that are really good for knowing at the very beginning. We're going to start with D because that one, if you can make a sound on a D, you can make a sound on pretty much any note. And this is the D that is the second line from the top of the staff. So you're going to put most of your fingers down. You're going to put your thumb down. Actually, this one stays up. This one, these two fingers go down. 1, 2, 3, and no pinky. So I actually use a rhyme with my students. I go thumb, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's D. And because you're covering up so many keys, you're going to have some resistance when you play. When you're getting to know your notes, you want to actually do the same thing that we just practiced with making a sound the very first time. Put it down. Pick it up again, find your fingerings, find your embouchure placement, put it down, pick it up again. Make sure that you are consistent and can do it 5 times in a row before you do anything else. And that's how you get good at it. You can do the same thing for C. I use the rhyme, no thumb C, so there's no thumb, 1 pinky. There's C. And since we're in a flute video, I'm going to just talk about doing C and D because chances are you're going to see C and D in a row pretty soon. And you might have noticed that you're going from lots of things down to not very many things down. So we're going to practice going now from D to C. And I'm going to give you some time to switch in between. And then I'm going to give you less time. And the goal is that we're able to do it fluently. So starting on D, thumb 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, ready, here's D. No thumb C, 1 pinky, 1, 2, ready, here's C. Thumb 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, here's D, and ready, go. No thumb C, 1 pinky, here's 1, 2, ready, here's C. Thumb 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, here's D again. No thumb C, 1 pinky, and 1, 2, ready, here's C. Now we're going to go a little bit faster. And I'm going to not do the rhymes, and I'm just going to give you a couple of beats in between. So starting on D, 2, ready, go. Here is C, ready, go. Here is D, ready, go. Here is C, ready, go. Here is D, ready, go. Here is C, ready, go. Now, if you're feeling really comfortable with that, we're going to take it a little bit faster. And we're going to go D, 2, C, 2, D, 2. And your fingers are going to be much more graceful than mine just were. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, here's D. If you're thinking about how you can make the transitions easier in between the notes, actually using less movement is a good idea because your fingers don't actually have to go that far. Really, it just has to be like from here to here. Now we're going to do a little bit more practice. We're going to go D, C, D, C, and 1, 2, let's do that now. If you're finding that challenging, just take it slower and go back to the slow section again. This is an instrument that takes time. It is a really cruel beast. It took me years to learn how to even make a sound, and I somehow was able to start teaching it. which I really shouldn't have been allowed to. So it takes time. I hope that this video has been helpful in giving you some ideas of how you can improve a little bit faster than I did. Please let me know if that was helpful or if you need more help with those basic techniques. That is what I do for a living. Until next time, stay mindful, stay musical, and stay out of trouble.